All right, you guys should be back. Hopefully you already answered these. We're going to first make our prediction, and then we're going to actually prove it to ourselves. So I have 2 times something less than 1. Bits times bits makes smaller bits. Okay, so let's see. 2 over 1 times 1 over 8. Butterfly. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Multiply your numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Were we right? Yep. All right. We have 4 times a number that is bigger than 1. So is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to? Hopefully you said greater than, but let's prove it. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7/4. Put your whole number over 1. Butterfly. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Cross multiply. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. And how do we write this as a whole number? 7. Is 7 greater than 4? Yes, greater than. All right, we're going to multiply 2 by a number that is bigger than 1. All right, hopefully you said greater than. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3. What do we do with our whole number? Write it over 1. Can't reduce anything here. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 8 2 times with 2 left over. Is 2/3 bigger than 2? Yes. Greater than. All right, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 practice problems on that page. And we're going to go ahead and look at 17 together. Then you can also finish 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have 12 practice problems to do. Here we go. Which one doesn't belong? Circle the multiplication expression that does not belong based on the scaling and explain which one doesn't belong. All right, does anyone see one that's different than the other 4? Well, let's look at each one. So we're trying to see if the number is going to be 3 greater than 3 or less than 3. All right, so I'm multiplying 3 by a number less than 1. So my product is going to be less than 3. I'm multiplying 3 by a number bigger than 1. So my product is going to be greater than 3. I'm multiplying by a number less than 1. So my product is going to be less than 3. I'm multiplying by a factor of less than 1. So my product is going to be less than 3. We could actually solve these, or we can just use our mathematical problem solving. So on all these, we multiplied by a factor that was less than the product is going to be less than 3. But this one would give you a product greater than 3. If you you need to pause a moment to get your answer written down, you can do that. All right, so as we've done all week, you do have some homework problems you can do. There's very few. You know the homework problems are really, really just to make it sure it sticks in your head. I would recommend that even if you're choosing to not do the homework, that you do number 6. All right, so we have worked on multiplying mixed numbers as a function or a thought of scaling, doubling, tripling, or cutting in half, halving. That's another big one, to half something, which is exactly what we're going to work on foodie fractions. So we're going to put in your packet and find them. Aurelie, this is for you, my dear. Foodie fractions. And this is a yogurt dip. You're welcome to make this yogurt dip. I haven't tried it, but I've done some similar ones, and I think it would probably be pretty delicious. So Sarah's bringing her favorite yogurt dip to school for snack day, but the recipe feeds 20 people. And just like our class, she doesn't have 20 people in her class. She only has 10. Can you help her have, so we're going to scale it by 1/2 her recipe. She also just wants to make it for a few friends, in fact, 5 of her friends. And so just like half of 20 is 10, half of 10 is 5. Or we can just scale it by 1/4. Can you help her quarter, notice all these great math words, quarter her recipe? And all you're going to do is multiply. So let's do just these two, and then I'll let you do the other ones practicing on your own. So you need 5/2, 5 halves of plain yogurt. So we're going to do 5 halves times 1/4, which gives us 5/8. 5/8 of a cup. And we're going to also do 5 halves times 1/2, which is 5/4 of a cup. Now this one's pretty simple. 1 times 1/4, any number times 1 is that number. And 1 times 1/2, 1/2. All right, so there's a couple more questions on here. This should just take you a second, but I wanted you to see how we use this in everyday life. So a lot of times we will do things like double or triple or quadruple your recipe, but sometimes we have to half it or quarter it. Are usually the typical ones you're going to do for cooking. All right, so let's look at our calendar of events. We have looked at foodie fractions, which you're going to finish. You have some splash activities you can practice. And next week, we're going to be focused on our dividing fractions. And then finally, we're going to look at multiplying. So next week, I want to give you a little bit of a preview. You do need to have your Khan Academy multiplying fractions ready to go on April 22nd. And then on the 29th, I have made 2 different edge elastics, one for multiplying and one for dividing. And then our very last standard we're going to work on is word problems with all of the types of fractions, and multiply and divide, and picking out when you know to use each one. And I'm going to show you the absolute easiest trick for that. All right, so you guys have had a great week. Keep working so hard, and then have a fantastic spring break. Friday, obviously, I didn't assign anything, but if you have anything that you didn't get to work to finish on this week, you have a week and a couple of weekends to work on it, so plenty of time, and you can still go out and have a great time for your spring break. All right, love you all, guys, and mwah, happy spring break, and see you all soon.